Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today, as you can see, I've got my brand new 2019 World Cup Elite bike frame and brand new bike. So today's video is going to be a bike check on this bike because I'm going to say this is the best bike I've ever owned and it's the nicest. So let's get into the video. So if you've been watching the channel and if you're subscribed, which I hope you are, you would have seen I've already had an edit out at Greenwich BMX on this bike, which is very fun, even though Greenwich is like just full of rocks now and it's quite a bad track. But still, that's why the tyres are a little dirty and whatever. So the picture of this bike in the thumbnail is a picture when I hadn't rode it at all. So that's the cleanest it was. So let's get into it. So if we start at the top, I've got some ODI Ruffian lock-on grips, which I had. These are the ones I had on my old bike, and yeah, because if you ride BMX and if you know like grips or whatever, then you know that once they're like just worn in, they're like a bit stickier, a bit grippier. They're just on the whole nicer. So that's why I've got these on there, and yeah, so the bar ends are a bit beaten up from the last bike, but anyways, they're nice. So. And then on the left hand side, next to the grips, we've got a Shimano DXR lever, normal V-brake lever, which is with a V-brake down here when we get to that. And these are all on the S&M XLT race bars. So in the video you can see there's a sticker there that says S&M Racing. And these are big bars for most people. They're a 9.25 rise, which they're the same bars I had on my old bike. They're just newer. They're just brand new. And yeah, without the plate on, the race plate on, they look very like big because you can see the gap. But once the race plate's on, it will look the same as the old ones. So moving down, the bars are connected to the frame and the forks with a Profile Racing stem. And I've always looked at the profile parts and stuff and never thought I should invest, because they're very nice parts, and this profile stem really makes the front end look much better on this bike. So yeah, I've got the Profile Racing stem. It's a 53mm reach, which from my understanding is from the middle of the fork top cap to the middle of the bars where they are onto the stem. So it's 53mm for that distance. I've never really known the measurements with stems. I've always just had a 53mm. I've always just had a 53mm stem. So yeah, I know you can have like longer reach to make the bike even longer, but with this bike, the top tube is already long enough when we get to that. So yeah. So then the forks, I needed a bit more height, and I didn't want to cut them down, obviously, basically. So I got some Answer headset spacers, which basically, if you don't know, when you put the forks on, when you put the stem on, the stem will go sit onto the headset. Whereas if you have headset spacers, they literally just space the headset, so space the stem from the headset. So I got a pack of headset spacers from Answer. So I've got the two bigger ones below the stem, and then I could have just put the top cap on straight onto the stem, but then I thought I just had a little change, so I put the thinnest Answer's headset spacer underneath the top cap, and then and then when you tighten in the top cap, it just pulls the forks and everything onto the frame. Very nice. So yeah, so then by the frame, I've got an FSA integrated headset, I believe, and it's a tapered headset because you'll notice in the clips, the top of the frame and the bottom of the frame, like down tube, top tube, front tube, whatever, are bigger. So the bottom is actually 1.5 inches wide, and the top is like 1 1/8 inch. So tapered is basically the headset. The bottom is bigger. The bottom cup on the headset is bigger than top cup. So yeah, that went well, very nice. So these are all on the Yes Reach forks, which are Yes's new forks. Well, Yes's only forks they've ever had. And I've got the 10mm dropouts, and yeah, I got them in the white because I saw pictures of the white Yes frame and the white Reach forks, and I just couldn't, because I was going to get the Harrow Click race forks which I had before, and they would have been black forks and just a white frame and black everything else. But then I saw pictures and I was like, I gotta have that, because if you look at it now, it's beautiful. So if we move on to the frame, which I already mentioned, it's a Pro Triple XL. Yes, that's a Triple XL. White in white, Elite 2019 Yes race frame, and yeah, I know there's a 2020 version, but I didn't see it. It literally just looks the same to me, so I just went with the 2019 version. And a little, so let me just crank out of the way. A little with the seat here. So on this frame, it's quite weird. If you see you can see the down tube goes like diagonally, so the seat post goes through the frame. So with any seat post, I don't think you can get one short enough. The seat clamps down here for starters, and then if I get this out, you'll be able to see. I actually had to cut it down, and I'm obviously not the best cutter in the world because it's diagonal. Yeah, and then I sanded it, and this seat post's already beaten up, even though it's like brand new. But yeah, so that's what the frame looks like with no seat. And then because the seat post was hitting the frame and it's marked it a bit before I cut it, yeah, so I had to cut it to get it slammed like that, which I like better, because I don't like in my opinion, I don't like all the seats that sit out and you can see the post. I just don't like that. So yeah. So then moving down to the cranks. Well, the bottom bracket is the box bottom bracket that came with the cranks that you get with them. So that was pretty nice. It went in nice, all pretty good. So I'm pretty sure, I believe they're the box 4 cranks in a 175mm length, because I was going to get the box 3 cranks because they're cheaper. But then they only go to 170. See, in my opinion, in my knowledge, I don't know how much 5mm makes difference. But anyone I spoke to, 5mm makes the difference. So I couldn't lose on 5mm just for whatever. So yeah, I got the 175 box 4 cranks, and on the end of them, the Shimano clip pedals. I'm not sure. They're the fixed ones. They're not, because I've still got them, but the ones I used before were the MTB ones. So when you push the cleats in, the middle moved and the casing stayed where it was. These ones are the fixed ones. So yeah, still trying to get to grips with those, but they're doing well. They're doing fine. And then if we go back to the cranks, they are on a box 44 tooth, a box 2 44 tooth chainring. See, the back cog on the wheel is a 15 tooth, and on my last bike I had a 42 15. And I've gone up to a 44-15, and I haven't even noticed it, but I'm not spinning as much as well now, so it's much better, and I'm getting all the power that I'm putting into the bike back, instead of losing some when I'm spinning, because the gearing is too small. So yeah, I've just got some box chainring bolts holding the box cranks onto the box chainring, because I couldn't not complete the box little trio down here. So yeah, and then we move on to the rear end, which nothing special, nothing really left, to be honest. Yeah, I've got the DXR V brake, which is that's brand new as well, because my old one's just beaten up, so I just thought I'd just get new fresh start. So yeah, yeah, the DXR brake set is working quite well. So the chain is a gusset 3 3/8 inches, or 3 3/8. I don't know what that means. Chain, and I got it in black because I wanted to get, my whole idea was getting the white frame, white forks, and then black everything else except for the brakes, which are an exception. So yeah, I've only ever had gusset. I like gusset, and I didn't really get much gusset this time. I'm pretty sure it's just the chain, but I do like gusset as a brand and how they look and stuff. I had the gusset stem and gusset cranks and everything on my last bike. So I've just got the gusset chain on there, and yeah, I think it's the half link chain, and yeah, it's working well. I don't know how much you can say about a chain, because if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So yeah. So then moving on to the wheels, I have got some Envy. See, bear with me for this one, because the wheels, I don't know. So I've got some Envy Sunringle black rims in 20 inch, obviously, and they've just got some normal black spokes going on to some profile mini hubs, which another profile addition or feature of the bike, which is I'm very happy with because I like profile as well. So yeah, so that's on there. And then I did have a problem in the back end. So with this frame, I really like the built-in chain tensioners. So they just got little turny bits, like little spinny sections that just push the wheel back if you have it loose, obviously. And then the wheel these are my old wheel. Well, these are the wheels I had anyway, and they didn't actually fit in the back end of the frame. So there was like a couple mil. So I could have like sanded it down, done whatever, but I didn't have the time or the resources. So at the moment, I've got a blue. All I had was a blue headset spacer. I didn't have any black ones left, and that is just taped to the edge to cover up the bearing on the left hand side. So yeah, it hasn't come off yet, so that's alright. But it does look a bit dodgy if you look a bit closer. So that's the only thing about the bike. So yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed getting to see my new bike. Yeah, as I said, this is my favourite bike I've ever ridden, and you will see the race recaps, the edits, whatever. This will be the bike on the track. So yeah, and it's very nice with the longer like 22 or 22.5 inch top tube, compared to like the 21.75 I had before. It's much nicer, and because the geometry works out. So where your feet are, when you pull up to do a manual, because the front end's longer and the top's longer and whatever, it's much easier because it feels lighter because it's further away. It's all about like leverage or whatever. So yeah, it's much nicer to ride and everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you want to see more of this bike and everything, drop a comment below and see what you want me to do with the bike. And yeah, if you want to see that, then click the subscribe button. And if you like this video, click the like button. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! It's gonna be a long one.
Open my eyes, yeah. Colder than ice, yeah. Ain't nothing frozen in life, yeah. Real thing, I'm for real, yeah. All of these faces I got in my pocket, they watching, they getting familiar. I'm trying to get all the profits deposited right back into my familia. Talking familia. How I be antisocial but making racks on social media, yeah. I took a chance on this shit and got large.